Hi everybody, it's Jen here today with your Hump Day challenge over at the Victoria Marie Facebook group. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I had some ideas already for doing a fall challenge, and I saw this mood board, and that was over at the Crafty Maven Getaway, and that's a little sneak peek of my layout. And it gave me the idea to change up what I was going to do and make the challenge a bit more about using maybe less traditional fall colors and or a less traditional fall photo, and I'm actually going to use both. And but I have to say, when I did look around here, I did actually see purple leaves, and I did actually see sort of like a lime greeny yellow type color leaf. It just, when I was working on it, I didn't really think that those were traditional colors. So I started out by cutting out all of these leaves with my silhouette, and then I used the cutout part as a stencil and put some gold leaves down as well. You can't really see them that much on the finished product, but I just liked that it added just a little bit of extra to my layout. And then what I'm doing is starting with the solid leaves, which are the sort of peachy orangey red color. And that was actually one solid piece of paper that was an ombre, and I just cut all the way down the side to get all the variations of the color. And then I'm just going to go through with all these other colors one at a time, making sure I'm spreading them out really well. Because if you've seen my videos before, you know I have trouble being random. So just doing one color at a time and making sure they're sort of on opposite sides of my page helps me be random. I don't know if that makes any sense. It helps me a bit anyways, making sure that the colors aren't beside themselves and that it seems sort of evenly distributed. So having a little bit of trouble with my silhouette, and I ended up having to change my blade. I was super irritated because it ripped up a couple of the leaves because they were quite fine. And if anybody's wondering, I did get this cut file from the cut shop on Etsy, or Etsy, depending on how you say it, and I'll try to remember to link that below as well. But actually, in real life, leaves are not perfect. You know, they're dead when they turn this color and they're falling off. So having some that were imperfect actually made a whole lot of sense. So I'm cutting out lots of the process here so that this video isn't, 2 hours long. But I'm still trying to give you a sense of what I was doing. So I just went around. I had used a pencil to just sort of really quickly scribe a circle to stick on. I'm actually going to end up pushing the leaves in just a bit to make it the circle of leaves just a little bit smaller, because once I print off my photo, you'll see what I mean. The sense of scale works a bit better. I'm just going through with some of these die cuts, and I'm just tucking them in. I thought it looked pretty to add those in there, fill in any little gaps or whatever that were there, because honestly, after cutting all those leaves, I really didn't want to go back and cut some more, but I felt like it just needed a little bit more to it. This is my first round of just sort of randomly, and I'm going to have to take all these die cuts off to stick all the leaves down. I am not going to make you watch me stick all the leaves down. So you're going to see me come back and all the die cuts are going to magically disappear. Ta-da! They've all been taken off, and there you can see I've pushed everything in before I stuck it down just to make it work with the scale of that photo there. So all of those die cuts are now over on the side again, and just picking homes. I think the homes end up being fairly close to where they were before, but again, as I said, I'm just putting them in on spots that I thought maybe looked a little bit sparse, or where maybe they were a little bit dark, or where I liked adding in a little bit of color there. So no huge rhyme or reason behind this, just playing with them. Those are I have to double check. I'm pretty sure those are the pink fresh die cuts that I had bought. Oh, what's that fall line called? I'm totally blanking on it. I'm sure you guys will remember what it is. I'll try to link it below as well. I don't have it in front of me right now. So yeah, so I've got that stuff tucked in using a little bit of vellum there so that it's not too heavy, and I'm going to have to stick all those down still. But right now I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do for my title. I wanted to use some gold lettering along the bottom, but there is one little spot on the bottom where a bit of I sort of oversprayed with the mist, and so I was thinking maybe a doily to hide it, and in the end I just liked the doily. The sort of pop of white I think really pulls your eye down to this photo. So this photo is actually a photo of the beach that was just taken on Sunday, this Sunday, and this is a very typical autumn beach day. It's kind of foggy and cool and misty, and this page is about how much I love that it doesn't really matter what time of year it is, I still love being at the beach, and the look and the photos that you get when the weather is like that is really cool. So of course it's quite different than a bright sunny day, but yeah, I'll still take the ocean any day. I don't care. I don't care if it's raining, I don't care if it's windy, I don't care if it's a storm. I always find something beautiful. Actually, during the storm, sometimes the water is the most beautiful colors. It goes this really interesting, almost like aquamarine greeny color when there's a big storm coming in, and I think that's it's really cool to try to capture that. So I'm fiddling around with letters. I had those gold alphas, thickers, and then these are some Studio Calico ones that I pulled out. I don't quite have all the letters, so I'm going to have to make a few of them, and I think that's what I'm doing just off camera there, sorry. I had to make an E and I had to make an R, so I just pulled letters that were something that I could cut easily to make them in, and then I'm going to have to try to figure out how to fit all that in. So I'm going to pull all these back off while I'm thinking about how I want to do that. I really didn't want to put anything in the center of the circle, so I'm going to have to just move the photo up a bit in order to fit in those particular thickers. And so here you can see I'm just going around, and I'm using just tape adhesive and then some foam dots for the little gold hearts that I'm scattering around as well, just to pop those ones up on top. I'm going to run out of adhesive in a second here, and I'm going to have to turn the camera off for a moment and go get some more, and then I will be back through the magic of video editing, ta-da, finishing those up. I'm going to put some foam squares on the back of the photo and such. I just am trying to finish up. I have 2 packages of these small ones before I pull out more large ones, so I'm very awkwardly using a whole bunch of these little tiny ones, but I have tons in my stash, and I was trying to use these ones up, so that's why I'm using those little tiny foam squares. So I stick it down and I pull it up because it's just not sturdy enough, of course, because those are very tiny, and I'm going to actually stick it down this time, and I'm going to pull it back up. It's going to be one of those layouts right at the end. I'm not really going to do a whole ton more embellishing here because I think that the sort of circle of leaves is all the embellishing that this needs. I really do. And I picked that background paper because it looks, it's supposed to be a wood floor, but it also reminds me a bit of the driftwood that's in this photo, so that's why I picked it. So here I'm going to rip this back up because that is not enough room for these tall skinny thickers. So I'm going to rip that up, I'm going to stick these down, and then I'm going to realize I didn't leave enough room for my second word. So that's going to get ripped back up again. Here we go. Yep. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit off camera, kind of hiding it with my fingers. So my title's going to be Autumn Splendor. And I kind of like the contrast on this one between the background and then sort of almost the starkness of the photo. I did that on purpose. There is no actual autumny leaves, but to me and to you know, my family who lives here, this can be part of what autumn is all about. So I liked how that worked out together. It's just you know, tells the story for us about autumn and what we like about it here. There is still trees that turn for sure, just not as many because we have a lot of evergreen trees, so it's not the same as some areas of Canada or North America or other areas of the world where the leaves change. So I'm going to pull, and I realize I have to put this up, but that's going to leave kind of an awkward gap above the front part of autumn. So I'm going to actually pull some of the leaves up that are hidden underneath, and I'm going to use those to help fill in a little bit. So I'm just seeing which ones can I pull. And now that I've done that, here you can see I'm tucking some of these other ones back in to fill in that gap a little bit so it's not so awkward. And I think that looks great. I'm just fixing the placement a little bit, and then I'm just going to do a teeny tiny bit of journaling just in that sort of empty space between the doily and the splendor. Just with a gold pen, it's very, very subtle, but I just felt like there was enough going on this. I probably could have done some more layers behind the photo, but I really just wanted all that work with the leaves to really shine and then pull your eye into that photo. So I hope you enjoyed, and still shots are coming up soon. Bye!